Well, we're excited that you're joining us. Welcome to QVC2. I'm Mary Beth Rowe. Not only do I have a really special product to talk to you about, I have a very special guest in this show, and then another special guest in this show, so you don't want to miss it. I promise you it'll be worth your time, especially if you need a new printer, or perhaps you need to upgrade your printer. This is a printer from HP, and we know HP, Hewlett-Packard, has been around for a long, long time. And the fact is, they are the #1 brand of computer that we sell here at QVC. And by the way, if you've got a computer, you probably need a printer. I can't imagine not having a printer in my home. I print things all the time. I print things from my emails. I print things for work. I print things that I need copies of things in the process of downsizing and having to buy a smaller home, get ready to sell a bigger home. I mean, all the financial papers, oh my word. Copies, copies, copies. What would I do without my HP printer? But I've never seen one like this, because this is one of their newest, latest, greatest printers. And here's the cool part, and you'll see it up in the description. It comes with 2 years of ink. We've never shown this to you before. This is the first time. The price tag normally would be about $450, and we have it at a bonus buy price of about $340. So that is a savings of $110. So why not save the $110? Get a wonderful printer, and you can even break it down into 5 monthly payments of $68 a month with any major credit card that you want to use on this one. First of all, let me just say, we're calling it our today's bonus buy, and that's why you're getting $110 off. Normally you would not get that much off, especially on electronics, but because it is a very, very special buy, therefore we're giving you this special low price. Let's go ahead and bring in my guest. Alex Abrahantes is joining me, and Alex, it's so good to have you with us. This is exciting.
Oh, it's great to be here, Mary Beth. Thank you so much. I am thrilled. I am so excited to be able to present this on air. This is the first time that we're seeing this. This is a brand new product from HP that we're presenting here on air for the first time, as I mentioned. And the reason it's so exciting is because what's the #1 most difficult or annoying task about printers? It's ink, and remembering when we need ink, having to go to the store when we run out of it, right? And then, has this ever happened to you, Mary Beth? This has happened to me in the past, where I go to the store and then I think to myself, what ink number do I have? What's the model of my printer? Right?
Yes, exactly.
So this takes the guesswork away from it.
Or the frustrating part, you run to the store, you take the time to drive to the store, and they've got every number except your number.
Exactly right. You got it. So we've taken the guesswork out of it. This is an amazing printer. This is actually my favorite printer. This is my personal printer that I'm using right now at HP.
Wow.
So what you're going to notice, and you've seen it there in the studio, but you're going to get 2 years of ink, and it comes in the form of these ink bottles right here. And I'm going to show you exactly how easy it is to set up this printer, because it doesn't have cartridges. It has these little ink bottles, and what you do with the ink bottles is, well, it's very simple to set up. So you've got black, you've got the cyan, you've got yellow, and then of course you've got your magenta. So right here, these are your ink levels, and you can always know how much ink you have because you can actually see it's translucent. You can see how much ink you have in there. You can also monitor your ink levels through your PC or your phone, because this is a wireless all-in-one printer. So you can print wirelessly from a computer, from a smartphone, from a tablet, and you can monitor and pretty much do everything from there. So we're going to give you a tour here in a moment, but it could not be any easier to set up this printer. And then the wonderful thing about it, it's a set it and forget it. You're going to have about 2 years or more of ink, depending how you use your printer.
Yeah.
We took the guesswork out of trying to figure out, when do I need ink?
Right.
So it's such a great printer to have.
Here's the interesting thing. It says it prints in high volume but at very low cost per page. Just
Exactly
the
right.
black ink alone is going to be enough for 6,000 pages, and the color ink for 8,000 pages. I mean, think about that. And like you said, maybe 2 years, maybe more, because honestly, that's a lot of pages. If you think about, most times we load in about 100 sheets maybe at a time, and that lasts for a while. Here's the other thing too, is that I am gonna go back to you and yours and have you take us through the tour, because it has a little different look than, like, say, the HP printer that I bought, which, by the way, can I just tell you, Alex, I bought our printer, and it's a wireless printer. It was kind of a less expensive HP printer. And I know without a doubt, I've had it at least 5 years. And I've never had a problem with it, but except finding the ink. And actually, the older it gets, the harder it is to find the ink that goes with it. So it's like, for me, it's definitely time to upgrade. So take us through this.
Of course, and it's funny you mentioned that, because a lot of folks don't think, oh, you know, it's time to buy a new printer. It's not like a computer where you say to yourself, I think it's time, right? We usually wait for our printers to die, but I want to share with you why this printer. And yes, I know a printer's an investment, and this is definitely an investment, but as you mentioned, Mary Beth, this is a type of printer that you can purchase and you're going to know that it's going to last you for a long time to come, and especially with the way that this ink works. So let me take you on a tour of this amazing printer. First thing you're going to notice is how beautiful it is. I really think this is an absolutely stunning modern design. I love the color. So you've got this bluish gray with the gray and the white, so you can pretty much fit anywhere. It's got a relatively small footprint. It's not an ultra large printer but it can handle all of the tasks that our, you know, professional printers really can. So let me go ahead and take you on this tour. So the very first thing you're going to notice, as you mentioned, is the auto document feeder up here. So what this does is you can flip this open, and you can actually scan, fax, yes, you can fax, make copies of multiple pages at the same time. Up to 35 sheets fit here. Now you might say, well, why do I need that? Well, let's say you have multiple pages that you do want to copy. It's so much easier to use the document feeder than to have to lift up and copy or print, or copy a scan, I should say, one by one.
Right.
But you can do that as well, which is wonderful. You have the option. You have the scanner right here. So that's the auto document feeder right there. Again, 35 sheets, which is wonderful.
Which is a lot. You know, I mean, that's a good amount of sheets. You probably have, and most of the time you'd be 10 or less, but up to 35. Okay, excellent. Take me more. Up to 35. Tell me more.
You've got it. So as I mentioned, you can actually see the ink levels here, but I want to show you how simple it is to set up this printer. So right here, you've got what we like to call our Magic Touch panel. And with the Magic Touch panel, it actually is so wonderful. I know it's a little bit difficult to see because it's right here in my studio, but you can copy, you can create ID cards. So if you need to copy ID cards, you can do that. You can scan, and it's all at a touch of a button. You can fax, and then you've got shortcuts here, and then you've got your little menu here. Now, when I hit the menu, I love this, because what this will do is this will actually walk you through any type of questions that you might have about your printer. So if you have questions about how to set everything up, it'll actually show you little videos of how to set your printer up.
Isn't that amazing? Like, who in the world does that but HP?
Exactly right. So it's so simple to use. Now, I want to show you how you actually set up the printer in terms of the ink. So I'm going to lift this up here.
Okay.
There we go. And what you're going to notice is you're going to have different reservoirs. And these reservoirs, I'm going to lift this up here. This is where the black goes. And right over here, this is where the color goes. And then what you're going to do is, and by the way, this is so easy to use. You'll get the instructions. You can go online and watch a video if you wanted to, but it could not be any easier. So right here, I have the black bottle. And what we've done is we've created a spill-free system. So all you need to do is you take off the cap, and then you're going to pop this in here. You're going to push this down, and you're going to hear a little click. And then once you do, the ink actually goes and fills up the reservoir. And then once it's done, you just take this out, Again, there's no spill whatsoever. It's super
So
clean.
cool.
And you can
Wow.
discard the bottle.
Yeah.
You close this back up here.
Yeah.
You're going to do the same exact thing with the magenta, the cyan, and the yellow on this side right over here. You close this.
Everything's so color coded. I mean, you
That's it.
can't, I mean, you really, if you can see colors,
There it is.
you're good to go, because there's all where we've already done it. But basically, that's where we put the ink in, and then you just close it up, and it's just snap on, snap off.
Right, and you see the little screen there, that 3-inch magic display. It's going to walk you through the process. It's letting you know, hey, the door is open.
Yep.
It'll let you know if you have to do anything, if you've swapped the paper out. It is so amazing to have that little screen there. It's a touch screen, so it's ultra intuitive. So again, it's such a simple process. It'll take you
Oh,
about
I'm gonna
5
close
minutes
that.
to set up your
That's what
printer.
it is.
There you go. And then once you're done, again, set it and forget it. You're
Right.
only going to have to insert ink when you need it. And again, you're going to get about 2 years worth of this ink. So think about it. It takes you about 5 minutes to set up the printer, and then you never really need to do anything except load the paper.
Right. And by the way, speaking of loading the paper, where do I load the paper?
Okay, so you've got the little tray there, and on the very bottom, you're going to see there's actually a little wedge right there
Oh,
that
yeah.
you just pull the paper out.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
And there you have it.
Yeah.
And the wonderful thing about this is you can take out the paper, and if you wanted to use photo paper, so you can change all sorts of different sizes of paper.
Okay.
You've got the ability
Yeah.
to, there's a little.
You can
if you
bring
see-
it in or bring it out.
Yes.
I know what you're saying.
Exactly.
I see these little areas
There
that
it
you
is.
can do that.
You
Okay.
got it. So
Wow.
all you do that, and then what's great is that when you close the tray, the little magic touch panel will actually ask you if you've changed the paper size. And that's so important because if you're printing a photo, you want to make sure that you have the proper photo size.
Correct.
And then when you change it, you hit OK, and then you're ready to go and print the photo or the document. So could not be any easier to be able to swap the paper.
That is amazing. Does it print?
Isn't it?
Yeah, and this will do double side printing, correct?
Sure will. So if you want to print something double-sided, like
Yeah.
I printed this here, take a
Yeah.
look at this.
Oh, that's
It
cool.
could not be any easier. This is really great. And then you can
Yeah.
select the feature. Let's say I didn't want to print this double-sided. I'll
Yeah.
just uncheck the box on my computer
Yeah.
or on the HP Smart app, and then it'll come out as 2 sheets. But I
Right.
love the ability of having double-sided, especially if you want to save paper, or if you're
Right.
studying for something, or you just want to create something that's double-sided. It's just such a
Yeah.
wonderful feature to have.
Or like you're creating your family update, your Christmas letter, things like
Right.
that. You're not going to put 2 pieces of paper in the envelope when you really don't need to. You want to put 1 in. And that makes
Exactly
it
right.
so nice. The other thing, too, that I wanted you to just talk to me a little bit about is on the front of this is a USB port. So
Yes, this
how
is
can
so
I
great.
use that?
So let's say you have pictures or documents on a hard drive, or maybe you have them
Sure.
on a little thumb drive like this. All you need to do is take this little thumb drive, this jump drive, whatever you want to call it, and then you put it in here,
Yeah.
and then you'll be able to use the magic screen here and then
Wow.
select the documents that you want to print.
Right.
So it's so convenient and nice to have
Yeah.
that, and I love the fact that it's forward facing so that it's easily accessible.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And let's do one other thing when we're talking about the tour, going all around this. And I'm going to just take this. Now, it's about 17 pounds, but hey, my grandsons are like 40 pounds or more. So, 17 is
There you
not a
go.
big deal.
Exactly.
But I want to show you the back of it because there are some ports, these ports right here and these down there. Let's talk about these ports. Why would I use those?
Okay, so the port to the very left, which looks like a telephone, that's if you want to connect this to a telephone line because
Okay.
it does have fax capabilities.
Sure.
So that's wonderful to have because you just never know. I mean, we don't
Right.
fax a lot nowadays. However, isn't it great to know that you have it in case that you need it?
Yeah.
Because it's always that one time that we need it and we're like, oh goodness, I don't have a fax.
Right.
Now you do. So
Okay.
you can, if you want to, connect it to a phone line. However, you also have wireless fax capabilities, which we'll talk here shortly.
Yes.
Then the next one there, if you want to connect it hardwired to a computer, you can do that as well.
Oh, nice.
So you can connect your computer hardwired if you don't want to use the wireless capability.
Wireless, yeah.
Exactly
and then what
right.
about these down here?